All right, what's going on, everybody? Sorry for the delay, but I had to finish up this drawing a little bit and get it to where I wanted it for the most part. I think I drew it a little low on the paper, but hey, it's not that big a deal. I could always cut the paper if I need to or something, but this is just a study anyway. I don't really plan on selling this, but I'll be open to selling it if anybody wants it, of course, but these are just for studying. But anyway, how's everybody doing? Thanks for tuning in. Sorry I was a little late, of course, but anyway, so this is the reference photo. I'll show you guys. Pretty cool. I thought the lighting was pretty nice, and of course it's a little more challenging for me because it's mostly shadow, so we'll try to get that figured out. But I did like the kind of lighting scenario, and I kind of liked that he wasn't looking at us or directly at us. I first thought I was going to do a portrait where it was flat on looking at us, and I decided didn't really want to do that. I changed it up at the last minute. That's kind of why I was delayed, because I ended up changing last minute, and then I had to draw this, and But so today we're going to do full color, I think. And try to, what's going on, everybody? Trisha, Philip, Amanda, California, Planet, Elias, Nicole, what's happening? Joyce, Nathan, Kuwait Asami, everybody's here. Unprogrammed, what's happening? Got a lot of folks joining today. Cool. So I'm gonna start off, maybe I'll zoom it in mostly. Here, maybe this larger brush, this number 16 round, probably start with that one maybe. Gotta focus this. There we go. Allison, Enrique, what's happening, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. So, looks like we got really light highlight here on the face. This looks like the brightest part when I squint, but mostly it's all connected. There's a lot of highlights here, so try to keep those in the beginning. We'll keep them the white of the paper for now. I think that's a good way to go about this. And we'll just put some light washes down, I think, to start with. We'll put some light washes to start with, and then maybe we'll put in the background as well. Because something this small, it's going to dry pretty quickly. So I forgot to wet my palette here, so we'll spray it real quick just to get it all moist and wet. All right. I'll try to show you guys what I'll be mixing. So, not really sure, but obviously there's a lot of warmth here. It's kind of grayed down, so maybe keep some ivory black there, but it's pretty warm. Transparent red oxide is what I'm using right now. So maybe some of that, maybe some yellow ochre with a little bit of ivory black. Maybe a little bit of this red to warm it up in places. Kind of use the Zorn palette. If you guys are familiar with the Zorn palette, it's yellow ochre, this red, and ivory black. That's kind of the Zorn palette. And I added in this transparent red oxide because I just like using that. So maybe a little warmer. I can always cool stuff down with a little bit of ivory black. Maybe I might use some blue in there too. But mostly, maybe for this one, I'll mostly stick to like the Zorn palette, just see what I kind of can get with that. What I really want to try to focus on is the harmony. The watercolor brand that I use is M. Graham Watercolors. What's going on, Mary? Thanks for tuning in. Nadia, hello. Glad everybody's joining today. This should be, hopefully I can pull this one off. So what I want to focus on, like I said, I want to focus on the harmony. Because I think, most of the time, the harmony is more important than the colors, The colors you use create the harmony, so that's important. But, really it's the harmony that matters more. At least that's how I have been taught and think of it. So let's see what this is going to do when I put this down. I'll try to see if it's too brown, maybe too much transparent red oxide. Maybe try to gray it down a bit and add some red. Let's see what this does. But this is just the initial wash anyway. But I want to be careful of the light here. There are some lights that are very bright. Very, very light. So I gotta be very aware of what I'm doing here. That separation of light and shadow, you know? That's what I want to be careful with. Try to get some of these colors to move a little bit. What I mean by that is just, you know, throw in some reds and other colors here. Ooh, dripped too much water there, but that's all right. We'll keep this thing, keep this wash moving, keep it wet for now. So cadmium red, a little bit of yellow ochre. Over here for the that beard. In the light. So just keep spraying it just so I want to keep it moving. A lot of warmth around the nose, maybe on the cheeks as well. In here. Slightly soften this edge. Don't want many hard edges here right now. Haven't done many portraits, so this is all like this is practice for me. Just study, just practice. So I literally just going with the flow here, going with what I feel, whatever feels right to me at the time. I'm just going with it. So that's how I'm kind of thinking about this. Going with the flow here. Put some more pigment into that, into here. Kind of lost the drawing, so that's going to be difficult to kind of get that back, but it's all right. I feel somewhat confident about my drawing abilities, so feel okay about that. So like I said, I'm just trying to feed some pigment into that. I know it looks a little weird on camera, but definitely it's not that weird looking. It's not that harsh looking in person. To be honest, if I'm being completely honest. And I'm not gonna be able to pay attention to the chat right now, unfortunately, because really trying to focus. Really trying to focus here. But I will check it out soon. Once I get this first kind of layer down. So a lot of warmth here on this eye, this side of the face. Still trying to preserve those highlights that I need along the bridge of the nose. Got a little bit there. That's going to be a little tough to keep that one, but okay, I should probably do the background, but just want to make sure. This should be softer up here. But I think this is a pretty good first layer. I may have went too dark here on this beard, so maybe not though. You know, you never know. It always dries a little bit lighter. But I'm going to lighten up some of it. I can always glaze it a bit more later. So I'll just slightly lighten it just to try to keep that separation of shadow and light, you know. There we go. So we'll keep it like a coolish gray background. I think that works really well with the warmth of him. So nice to have like a grayish, cooler gray background maybe. Light mid-tone kind of gray, if I can lighten this up. Spray this a bit. Maybe we'll add a little more cool to some parts of this. A little more cool blues and stuff. And I kind of need to finish this part down here. You know, there is some warmth down there, but I don't want it to distract from the rest of the face, so I'm not going to warm it up too much or anything. We'll just keep it kind of abstract down there. Even that light down there could be a little darker than the rest of the light. And I won't mind that. So this looks pretty cool so far. I like the little lines that I left here are white. It's pretty cool. Gives it a different character. So this is a pretty strong statement, you know, this light here against all this shadow. Got a nice background. This is not a self-portrait. If my body looked like that, I don't think I'd be here right now doing that. I'd be at the gym or something. But Yeah, I think I'm happy with the background. I don't want too much color there, but I do got some blues and some other warms. It's overall gray, a lot of warms in the face. It's just gonna be difficult to get those eyes back. I can barely see my drawing there. And maybe the ear and everything. But, you know, it happens. It happens. I can even add some, add some warmth for an ear over here. Add some, I don't want to put too much water, I just want pigment. Some red for an ear for later. Okay. So I think this is a pretty good first layer, pretty good setup. Overall, it's kind of one value. You know, I kind of went pretty dark. I didn't do you know, anything super light, and I'm gonna lighten up some of this beard actually now, because I see that it's trying a little darker than I might want. So we'll just, you know, I really want that really nice light effect. But I do like the softness I got, because that's usually a challenge for me. You know, some harshness here, but it's kind of good. I can always just do some glazing, like I said later on, do some very light glazing to kind of transition that. You know, so I'm not too concerned, and I can always like slightly just finesse it right now. I can kind of just soften a little bit of that stuff right now. So it's not too concerning or anything, to be honest. So yeah, that's not bad. But I feel good about what I have, I think. So I definitely want to, you know, I want to keep in mind all the stuff I learned the last few days with the planes and the way the light hits and stuff. Obviously this one doesn't have a whole lot. I mean, there is some light on this cheek. I can kind of take out a little bit here, possibly. See if I can do that. So I can do that without ruining it. I don't want to cause a bloom or anything. Just want to take pigment and water out. I don't want to add. But I might be overdoing it. But while the paper's still damp, this is a time where I can just come in, I can kind of like just take off some of the pigment here and there. Lift it up, like the hair up here kind of has a highlight. I kind of lost that a little bit, but I'm not too concerned. I'm more worried about the facial area, and I lost some highlights on the hat as well, but hey, not bad. So anyway, I apologize if I missed any questions, guys. Please ask them again, or somebody post it again. Let me know if I missed anything. But I think this is pretty good. I think this is a good start. I think I will let this dry. I really want to like soften that line on the nose, but I know as soon as I soften that, it's going to ruin the highlight. So I'm just going to leave it. Actually, the only one, I just want to soften the top of it, just so it's more of a gradual. There we go. Something like that. Where's my fan? Where's my handy fan here? Okay, so the size of my paper is 6 by 8 inches. So 8 inches tall, 6 inches wide, with 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 inch tape on the edges. So the painting size is a little smaller than 6 by 8, but the paper is 6 by 8 inches. Yeah, he does have a great beard, that's for sure. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it'd be cool to paint this one. So, oh man, I missed some. The light is kind of getting ruined here. Oh well, not bad. I still need to darken a whole nother layer, so I think what I have down is pretty light, pretty good. Well, the real Andre B. I don't have a hair dryer because I don't have any hair. So maybe I shouldn't use a hair dryer. I can't use a hair dryer. This thing's fine. This thing works good. It's quiet. That way I can still talk to you guys while I dry this thing. You know, if I had a noisy hair dryer on here, I think everybody would want to leave. I'd have to mute the mic. It'd kill the whole flow of everything, you know. Now I can spend some time answering questions, looking at the chat, you know. What brand of paper are you using? Arches cold press 140 pound paper. Arches cold press 140 pound paper. Oh yeah, hairdryer would be way louder. I wouldn't even be able to talk right now. It would just like and it'd be like super crazy. Super crazy. Yeah, I think this painting's done. I mean, it looks really cool, right? I don't want to do more to it and mess it up. Did you answer at Cubs win question? Yeah, I did. Size of paper, yep, 6 by 8 inches. Sure did. No worries. Yeah, it's a smaller paper. This is the kind of size I used to do for like oil painting studies. I love doing this size for oil painting. I used to do plein air this size. Like, this is the perfect size for doing small landscape studies. Any kind of study, I like this size of paper. What paper did you use for water-based pencil? I'm not sure, to be honest. You could use watercolor paper. You could use maybe some kind of mixed media. I don't use water-based pencil, so I'm not sure. If anybody out there that uses water-based pencil, please answer Angelus's question. Almost dry here. What is the difference hot press to cold press paper? Hot press is much smoother paper. Doesn't have the texture. It might absorb the water differently. I'm not 100% sure. I used hot press in the past, but I can't remember because it's been about 10 years. Yeah, Nathan Dixon answered your question there. He said he uses watercolor paper, so there you go. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if you're going to use water with it, I mean, it makes sense that you use a stronger kind of paper. So, definitely makes sense. All right, we're almost dry here, folks. Almost in business, back in business. But it dried much lighter. But I still like the colors. I like the granulation I got. Looks really nice. I love the softness of everything. The lighting, we can already see the lighting effect coming to life, you know, so hopefully I can keep that. Do you like 300 pound? I haven't used 300 pound in about 10 years, but yeah, I mean, something thicker would be better because it doesn't buckle as much. I just don't feel like spending that much yet on paper. But yeah, I would definitely use the 300 pound for sure, no doubt. It's going to be able to hold more water, you know, it's thicker, it's better, you know. Hot pressed paper does absorb the water differently. Yeah, exactly, that's what I thought. So it absorbs the water differently, it's much smoother. Obviously it's going to have a different kind of feel, but it's still watercolor paper, you know. It's just, you have to get used to those subtle differences, you know. If you're used to cold press, and then you switch to hot press all of a sudden, you know, you might have some, it's going to be a little different, you know. All right, here we go. Yes, the hairdryer might have been quicker, but it's all right. It's not that big a deal. Okay, I think I might switch to the smaller brush now. Because, you know, I'm getting into the more subtlety here. So what I'm trying to decide is, this wash that I put down, is it dark enough for any of the shadows anywhere? That's the question. That's the question. Because I feel like I know I need to go darker with the beard, with the hair. I'll show you guys the reference real quick. You know, around the nose and the eye. So if I think about those planes, obviously right around the eye is usually that darkest spot. I could connect that down to the nose and then down to the beard. So that's kind of a good dark shape that connects down to the mustache and to the beard. So it kind of goes up the nose a little bit, and then to the eye, it'll get a little bit darker. And then the beard connects all the way up to the hat. So we kind of have one dark shape that we could connect. The only other dark shape is the other eye, but that's okay. You're not gonna be able to connect that. So yeah, it seems that we can connect the beard to the eye, one of the eyes around the nose, and then up to the hat. Like, you know, boom, hat, boom, boom, boom. So that's pretty good. That's a nice dark shape, I think. And but I'm not going to do the beard just yet, because I think not sure. I'm trying to figure out what I should start with. Yeah, maybe I do the beard. I'm just gonna have to make it darker. It's gonna have to be darker. Yeah, hot press is usually used for like illustrators and stuff. I've heard some illustrators, people use that because it's smoother. It's just different, smoother texture. So they don't want, you know, they want to be able to get more details in there. Like you said, Sarah, I've heard that as well. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, maybe I start with the hat. Maybe I start with the darks and go darker. Or do I just do like an overall wash again for the shadow area and the face? Leave some of this, what I put down, to be the midtones. You know, I feel like I can get another plane on the nose there. The ear is much, yeah, the ear is lighter compared to the beard and everything. So, all right, let's mix up something. Let's just get going. I think I need to spray my palette again. Everything dries so quickly in my apartment, so that sprayer definitely comes in handy. For that first wash, I sprayed the paper like 5 different times in just a few minutes, so that was really helpful. So I'm mainly using cadmium red and ivory black for this next mixture, I think. Maybe a little bit of yellow ochre. So like I said, I'm trying to stick with the Zorn palette mostly, and just see what kind of harmony I can create, see what I can come up with. So let's see if we can just get a transition. Use the wash I have down as kind of a mid-tone wash. You know what I'm saying? So I'll try to use this more as a I think I probably want to slightly moisten the paper right now, because I don't want super hard edges right now. And we'll just bring this down this one side of the nose. I know it looks really dark, but I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with it for now. Okay, so it looks like I Probably just unite, simplify all this. Let's keep stuff simple, right? Think about those planes, simplifying those planes. It looks like I'm gonna have to lighten this up just a bit, kind of glaze over that cheek. So I think I'm just gonna bring all of this up to the hat line. So this could be the two shadows in the light that I have, maybe. So highlights and then that light, and then this is my first shadow, what do you call it? First value in the darks, I guess. Yeah, I think I gotta remember that, right? Two values in the light, two values in the dark for the most part. Try to keep a simple statement overall. So I still could have used a larger brush, I think. But like I said, I haven't done many of these portraits and stuff, so still trying to figure it, still navigating how to do these, how to go about doing some of these things. I make the beard just slightly darker since in some areas. But I do want this to be soft. Or at least have the illusion of softness there. Really, you think I'm brave with colors? I'm barely using any color here. Just cadmium red and ivory black. You mix those together, you get a nice dark red. It's pretty good. You can mix a little bit of yellow ochre in there to vary it a little bit. But let's just go over the hat too while we're at it. Let's see, a little bit of the hair up here. And then this hat's actually more blue, but I'm just gonna go with ivory black. Maybe a touch of ultramarine. We can add a little bit of color here. The Zorn palette's better in oil paint because you can add white to the ivory black and it'll cool it down. It really looks like a blue, but they don't really get the same effect with watercolor, it seems. So simple shapes, trying to keep simple, bold shapes here for this hat. Try to get those highlights back that I thought I lost, but it looks like we kept them. We were able to keep them. That's nice. I like that. I'm gonna keep spraying this because I don't want any hard edges. I don't want to lose what I got going here. So I might end up losing some of the drawing here, but trying to keep hold of it. And this is the important part of lining this stuff up, because now stuff's kind of crucial now. Soften some of this down here. Because we don't need it to be hard edged, right? We can afford some soft edges. Especially on this beard. Wish I could get that exposure right, but see, I wanna clear bottom of the ear, top. Okay, so top of the ear is here, the bottom of the ear is there. So just trying to scrub out a little part for the ear, just a little place for a soft ear there. There we go. Something like that, although the ear actually comes way over here more. Wow, feeding a dove. That's cool. The left side of the painting, his chest is out as far as his beard in your photo. He looks like he has a fat neck. Yeah, he does. He actually does. Yeah, he's pretty built. I tried to get the drawing pretty close, I think I did, if you look at the reference. Yeah, he's pretty built. He's pretty built. So his neck is like way over here, comes down, and then his neck is here, so. I kind of lost the lighting down here on his neck, but it's not that, I'm not too concerned with that because my focal point's up here, so. Oh, it was caught in some wire and can't fly. Oh, that's sad. Looks really good already. Thanks, I appreciate it. Trying my best, Definitely trying my best. So we'll definitely need some glazing of like some stronger color, I think. I could even put some of it in now, like maybe on his beard. A little transition. Just see what it looks like. We'll see what that does. Still want to make sure I get that ear in there, but ear isn't really that important, to be honest. It's in the shadow and you can't even really see it that much, so if it's a soft kind of thing over there, then so be it, right? You know, my focal point is right here, so that's where I want my focus to be. Can even soften some of these highlights up here, some of the hat, because it's not that important. This should be soft though. Keep it soft, keep it soft. Everybody's quiet out there. We got 51 viewers and everybody's like, everybody fall asleep or something? Am I talking too quietly? Putting everybody to sleep? That's my problem, man. Everybody always says my voice is too relaxing. I always put everybody to sleep. I've had people tell me they fell asleep watching my video. Like they watch my videos to fall asleep, which is kind of funny, but want some warmth in here. Some nice warmth going. There we go. I guess I can zoom it in now if you guys want to see it up closer. If you guys want to see it closer than it should be viewed. Just adding little touches of color, because there's kind of this transition. Mid-tone type of transition. So I'm still trying to stick to, like, you know, 2 values in the light, 2 values in the dark. Kind of getting there, I think. I mean, it's pretty, you know, light. I mean, you could say these are both light, and then this is a highlight. So 2 values in the light, 1 value in the shadow so far, and then I'm going to go in with the darker dark, and then maybe some kind of dark accent. Light accent, so we'll have like 5 to 6 values or something, but you know, it's pretty close to being very simplified 4 value type of painting, hopefully. But I'm getting very, very soft stuff. I would love to try what I'm going to try eventually. I think I want to do a portrait study where I have only hard edges the entire time, no blending, no softening, everything hard. And using only color to show transition, like kind of like what I did here. Like there's 2 hard edges here, but it looks like a transition, you know, of when you view it from far away, it looks like it works, like, you know. Yeah, I gotta get this drawing back of his eyes. I'm gonna try to not do it too detailed, because the way I'm painting this, everything's very soft, so I definitely want the eyes to stay soft. I don't want I don't want it to be too hard, because then it'll just stick out, or it won't look. I'm using M. Graham watercolor. So I'll show you. M. Graham and Company. So that's kind of almost all my watercolors, except for the white that I use, which is right here. That's by Holbein, but the rest is M. Graham watercolor. Well, thanks everybody. We're getting there. I think it'll look really cool once I take the tape off. Really nice clean edges and stuff. I think will look cool. And I like the little organic splatters I got, kind of, that I didn't even try to get. It just kind of happened. Anyway, let's try and dry this real quick, I guess, and then go in with the darks and a little bit of the eyes and stuff, and call it a day. Call it a night. Yeah, Graham is, I think they're only available in the US. I'm not sure where else you can get them. Yeah, the light on his face in the shadow. Yeah, that's my goal. That's what I want to, that's what I really want to capture. That's kind of what this portrait is about. That's the statement I want to make, is the light on his face. So I'm trying here. Cubs Win says, excellent likeness. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I got the likeness yet. I mean, I haven't got the features in there. But I want to keep them simple. You know, we did those yesterday. I did those facial feature studies. So if I can keep it simple. Maybe you can list which Graham paints to get as a starter type kit sometime. Yeah, I can do that right now if you want. You know, I can break down my palette. It's very simple. So Nathan says you can get them in Canada. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know if you can get them anywhere else, but I need to start putting together and wondering which ones you think are must-haves. You know, it depends on your goals and what you want to paint. Yeah, no problem, Sarah. I would definitely get a red, yellow, and a blue. I mean, you're gonna need a red, yellow, and a blue, right? So, is there a schedule for these live streams, or is it random? There is a schedule usually. If you go to your subscription page right now, you can see that I scheduled one for tomorrow. So I normally stream every day on the weekdays, Monday through Friday, at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 5 p.m. Pacific Standard. I actually start at 5:10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So yeah. Next week, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream all week or not. So I try to schedule them ahead of time. So if you go to your subscriptions, you'll see when they're scheduled. So I'm not sure next week if I'm gonna be able to do any at all. I got some things going on, and maybe the next week, at the beginning of the week after next, I might have some things going on. So we'll see. But if I do, I will schedule them. If there's nothing scheduled for, the end of next week, then there's not going to be any. So that's how I kind of handle it nowadays. So just check your subscriptions page. When is the book out? Still in progress. We kind of had a little setback, and it's kind of run into a setback right now, and it's on hold. It's on hold right now. But it's going to be put out. It'll probably be the beginning of next year, probably. There's no official date or anything, but maybe end of this year, maybe beginning of next year sometime. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm allowed to say about it, but yeah. Yeah, Mary, I have a book that I'm working on, that I've been working on the last few months. It's being published. I can't really talk about it, unfortunately. So it just deals with art. I can't really say much more. So you'll find out once it gets closer to it coming out. Then I'll be promoting it a lot, so you guys will know what it's about. It's kind of a very niche kind of book, niche, but it's definitely going to be useful for most people if you want to get good at art. It's useful for everybody, but it's marketed in a certain way to where it's very niche. Yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. But anyway, let me get back to your question, Sarah. I would definitely get a yellow, red, and a blue. I like ultramarine blue because it's cheap, and I've always used ultramarine blue on all my palettes, whether it was acrylic or oil painting. Ultramarine blue is pretty good. You know, you don't really need cadmium yellow or cadmium red. You can get any other kind of yellow that's kind of bright, and any kind of red, Naphthol red, or any other kind of red. You can get azo yellow, or there's some other kind of yellow as well. Those will be just fine. I'm probably going to switch to using those in the future instead of the cadmiums. So that's kind of a good base to start with, and then I like transparent red oxide. You can use burnt sienna. Some kind of brown maybe is very useful. It's convenient. I mean, literally that's all you need to start with. So you could really, that's all you need. You can add a green if you want. You can add a purple if you want. You can add other convenience colors. So for me, I have a lot of convenience colors on my palette. So I'll talk about that in 1 second here, once this dries completely, pretty much dry completely. So on my palette, I have these two are the same, these two yellows are the same. Like a lot of stuff is the same, like transparent red oxide twice, purple twice, the yellow twice, ultramarine twice. That's just to fill up the palette, but a convenience color is like yellow ochre, because you could literally mix yellow ochre with a yellow and a red. If you use yellow red and a little bit of blue, you can mix yellow ochre. But it's very convenient for me, like when I'm doing plein air, doing landscapes, or even portraits like this. It's so convenient to go into yellow ochre. It's quicker. You know, a strong color like this might be necessary if you ever run into something, you know, something very strong colored. It might be useful to have something like a strong color like this, or alizarin crimson, which is very strong, or maybe some kind of quinacridone red or quinacridone pink, something that's very strong saturated pink. So those aren't really necessary, but they could be useful. But you don't need them to start with. Basically a starter palette could be like red, yellow, blue, brown, and green. You know, you don't even really need the green, but it's useful sometimes, I feel like, to get a really strong yellow green or really strong green that you need. It's useful. This purple isn't really necessary. You know, you can mix red and blue together, you get a nice purple. But yeah, I would start very limited first and get used to what kind of colors you're able to mix with those basics. And then slowly start adding, you know, okay, now I'll add in a purple and see what kind of mixtures I can make with that purple with the palette I already have. And then you can go, okay, now I'm going to add in, you know, a cobalt teal. Slowly start adding colors. That's what I did. I slowly started adding colors. I slowly added Viridian to my palette, and then I added purple to the palette, and then I added the cobalt teal to my palette, and then this Indian yellow, which is more like an orange. So it just takes time to get used to all these colors, but I started out the first 5 years of my painting, when I did acrylics and oils, I literally used cadmium yellow, cadmium red, ultramarine blue, burnt umber, and yeah, that was it. That was it. I used that for like 5 years, you know, with titanium white or whatever. But now, you know, ivory black, that's a convenience color, because I can mix black with blue, ultramarine blue, and transparent red oxide. I can mix and make a black. But I find this ivory black is very useful for graying down very sensitive colors that I need. So what I mean by that is it's much easier for me to get, let's say, like yellow ochre, and I want to gray that down slightly. And I've done this for sunsets that I've painted. It's much easier for me to get just a little touch of ivory black and to gray it down that way, especially when I'm doing plein air. It's very convenient, it's very quick, and it doesn't really turn it green that much. It just kind of grays it down slightly. But it's much more difficult to gray it down if I add blue and then I add the brown You know, if I'm out on location, that takes a long time to like, and then now it's going to be green because I added too much blue, and now it's too strong. You know, it's harder. That's why I use ivory black sometimes, because it's just easier to sensitively, what's the word? You know, sensitively tone down, gray down a color. You know, something like that. But anyway, I hope that helped. Yeah, start very simple. And that's great to hear, Sarah. So you did a monochromatic painting with sepia. I mean, I honestly recommend that you do monochromatic paintings for a while. You know, do like 20 of them, because it's going to be super helpful. You know, just focusing on value all the time, and not only value, but then you start focusing on how paint reacts and how water reacts and all the edges and stuff. And then you don't have to worry about color, you know? You just focus on values. Color is kind of the last thing you want to worry about, because you can always inject that into your paintings later, you know? So anyway, let's get back into this. That was a little intermission, folks. So thanks for sticking with me, tuning in. Hopefully that was helpful for a lot of folks out there. I know usually if one person asks, like, there's many other people that have that question, so I know it's useful. So I'm going to start with the hat here. I'm going to really darken that hat, because when I squint, the hat really just becomes part of the hair. So we're going to really go dark here. And just be bold about it. Try to stay with bold strokes. I'm just going to try to put strokes down and just leave them, you know. That might be too much water. I want to go dark here. But it should be pretty, as long as I got the value structure. And you can tell I have 2 values in the light, 2 values in the dark now. I'll have it pretty good. How long have I been on here? So I've done this in under 1 hour so far. So I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, I think this is pretty good for less than 1 hour, if I do say so myself. So it looks like I just gotta fix the shape of this hat slightly. Try to leave softness there. So this is where I gotta be careful, because I think I already messed it up. Possibly, yeah, I already messed it up. But I can start right now shaping this ear. So I'm using the negative shapes here for the ear to, yeah. So this right here, we'll turn it red. Ivory black, cadmium red. So I'm getting a very harmonious painting just from using this very limited palette that I'm using right now. So we'll start going into the hair now. We'll just blend these together. And I might need to, we'll slightly soften some of this too, keep it wet while I'm painting this. And then the bottom of the ear lines up with like kind of the line of the mouth, so right there is where the beard is. And then the hat continues down back here. Don't need everything to be too sharp or anything, especially on this side. It's all in shadow, so if I can keep that soft, then that's good. That's good then, if I can keep it keep it pretty soft. I'm trying to make sure my fingers are clean before I use my finger there. I want to keep this flowing. So now I'm going to connect. Connect the mustache here under the nose. Like I said, going pretty bold here today. Trying to keep it simple. Simplify it. That's what we've been studying. That's what I've been studying the last few days. Simplifying things and trying to keep things bold. It's simple. That's what this week has been about. So I'm trying to remember that stuff, you know. Remember those planes that I've been studying. Slightly soften that. Line of his hat there. Don't want to go over it too much, just keep it, it's bold, strong. Right, bold and strong. There we go. So like I said, we got that shape, right, of the hat, the hair, and then up to the eye there. It's kind of all connected, that shadow. So I might darken a little bit in the eye, around the eye and stuff, but pretty happy with how this is coming out so far. Just keep it warm inside the ear, so I'm gonna make this red in there. This hat kind of softened a lot there, but it's all right. It's not that important to this painting. overall. So even if it looks like a ponytail or something, so be it. Okay, not bad. Pretty good, I guess. Okay, shouldn't have done that. Kind of lost the shape there. That's what I'm afraid of. I don't want to don't want to do too much here. There we go. I'll probably glaze that ear because it's a bit too bright, but I gotta wait. I'm gonna wait for it to dry. Now I will wait for it to dry. Let's go into the eyes now. Let's try and get those in. I feel like I don't want to put them in too much because they're pretty dark on the reference photo, but I don't want to overdo it because this would be really easy to overdo right now and kill the whole painting. That's why I kind of left them for last because it's the most challenging part right here. And I'm gonna try to keep using this same big brush, this kind of, I mean, it's not a big brush, but it's big compared to what I'm doing here. So, lightly missed that. So I feel like we can connect all this because when I squint, it's kind of connected. I can simplify this, lighten it up a bit, keep it simple, keep it simple. We still want to keep these simple values that I've been talking about. Yeah, see, just a suggestion of an eye, like I don't even think I need to put all the little details and stuff. It's just like, just a suggestion that his eye is there. And I think that does it. I mean, that's exactly what I was trying to do. So now if I can do that on the other side, then I'm in business here. You know, it just needed that little bit of simplicity, simplistic form. You know, I don't want to mess with it anymore because I like it. Okay. Definitely don't touch that again. Everybody out there, do not let me touch that again because I like that. Okay. Kuwait saw me. Yeah, it gets old sometimes, you know, having to answer the same questions over and over. But, you know, not everybody watches. So, hi, what watercolor paper are you using? Arches cold press 140 pound paper. Arches cold press 140 pound paper. That's what I'm using. All right. All right, guys. If I can get this other eye, we're gonna try here. This is intense stuff here because this could make or break the painting. Maybe. He looks a little cross-eyed, but he is like looking up at something, so you kind of get a cross-eyed look to some extent, but let's try to, we can finesse that a little bit maybe. There we go. There we go. Fix his gaze a little bit. There we go. Okay. And ever so slightly indicate an eyebrow here. And like I said, I'll probably soften this ear a bit because I don't really like how that looks. It just sticks out a little too much. So I'm gonna have to glaze over this a bit, some areas. Just so it just sits back in there a little bit because it just sticks out all too much, you know. Doesn't need to, it's not necessary. Yeah. Yeah, no worries, man. Anybody ask whatever you want, but you know, it's part of the game, man. You just keep answering the same questions every day, all the time. It's no big deal. It just happens. It's gonna happen. All right, so now I'm thinking, right? Now I'm thinking, I could add, see, this is where it always goes downhill, right? I could add, I mean, I know I'm gonna darken up the neck here a bit because, I don't know, it just feels like it needs a little more. Always needs a little bit more, but not a lot, not a lot. I know it's gonna look dark when I'm starting, but it's not gonna end up being that dark. I just want to maybe connect it to that beard a little bit. Ever so slightly. And just try to give it a little more form down here. That's all. Nothing too crazy. But what I was saying is I could add another wash on that background to kind of separate the beard and maybe give more contrast, but I do kind of like how it fades into the background. So I'm kind of torn because the problem is once you add that wash to the background, you can't, if you don't like it, then you can't get it back to what you had before. You know, that's always the problem. You know, with oil paint or something, you could always just repaint over it, or acrylics, you could just repaint over it again. But with watercolor, once it's there, it's like, well, okay, I don't like it, but there's nothing I can do about it. So it's always one of those things. It's like, should I add that more contrast or should I just leave it? That's the question. And I can't take the tape off to look at the painting for what it is because then I won't be able to do the background. So yeah, I always try to post like a list of the materials I use in the description or in the comment section. Nobody reads the description usually, so I do the comment section now because that's when people that's what people read. I want to add like, I don't know that I can because it's too late now. I should have added in the very beginning, but I wanted like warmth on the nose there. But if I glaze anything, it's going to get darker. But I think I got pretty good warmth. It's pretty warm looking, I think. So I don't want to add too many other values or anything, but yeah, I think this is a really nice simple statement, right? I mean, his eyes there's something a little off with his eyes, with his gaze, but you know, I don't know. I don't want to touch this again, but here I am. I'm just trying to round that pupil just ever so slightly, see if that might help. You know, maybe that helped. Maybe that helped. Yeah, I could put like his nostril in a little bit more or something, but see that's like, I don't want to get too into the details, you know. I don't want to get too. I'm going to put this around the nostril to kind of reveal that whole nostril. Just a bit more. There we go. So very, very, very small tweaks right now. Just trying to bring it together ever so slightly, and I think that's it. That's it right there. That's really it. And my stomach is growling. I don't know if anybody heard that, but boom. Maybe that's a little too dark. I don't know why I did that. Let's fix that. Yeah, I gotta stop touching it now, folks. I gotta stop touching it now because I could ruin it very easily. And I think I just did. I don't like that. I don't like that. Yep. All right, we're gonna call it done because I don't want to touch it anymore. The more I keep touching it, the more you mess with it, the more it messes up. I feel like the neck is very dark. Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, I lost the light down here. You know, I didn't want it to be super bright like the head. To be honest, so I did kind of modify it a bit. But I don't mind the neck being dark because it's not the focal point. You know, I want it to just kind of be not important down there, to be honest. But I get what you're saying. Maybe it needs a little more dimension right here. Like, see if I can lift some of that up. Yeah, maybe that's better. You know, I'd like to be able to add some warmth down here, possibly. Like that. Some warmth to the beard. We can just glaze some red in here. Warm everything up. So, you guys see the limited palette that I used really created the harmony. Really kept it simple. So I really just used the Zorn palette. I used a little transparent red oxide in the beginning, but I didn't really use it in the end. So, yeah, definitely hard to know when to stop. Yeah, I'm putting the brush down. Putting the brush down here. I still want to fuss with the neck. Kuwait Asami pointed it out, now it bothers me. Way to go, bro. I'm just kidding. It's all good, man. I feel like part of the beard needs to be slightly darker, like down here. One more little tweak, and it's not going to ruin it. Not going to do anything. I just need to darken the beard slightly to give it. It just needs to look a little more fuller. Right here. You know, and I'll soften the edge. We'll get it soft and blend it in. But I feel like just needed a bit more dark there. I think that really helps. But like I said, we'll try to soften this real quick, hopefully. There we go. I think that's it. I think that's, let's see if you guys can see what it really looks like. It's so hard to show with this camera, man. Boom. Pretty good. Like I said, I don't like the space up here, but hey, whatever. The only other thing that bothers me is his hat. It's a little soft on the back. It looks more like a ponytail. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You know, I could always like harden it a little bit there, partially harden that, but paper's still really damp. But let's see what happens if I just like slightly. Hard edge there. So maybe that helped. Maybe that helped a little bit. We still got the softness, but just a little harder there. Anyway, let me dry it real quick, completely, and then I'll take the tape off. So we got to see it with the tape off, right? That's when it's all going to come together. No wrinkles in the forehead, man. There's enough going on right there. If you put the wrinkles there, it's gonna ruin the effect. Because when you squint down, I mean, the wrinkles don't really. It's not really. It's not necessary. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I'm very surprised that I was able to do this in 1 hour and 21 minutes. I've struggled worse. I've struggled longer with crappier, you know, worse paintings. So. Sorry, Kitten, trying to start a YouTube channel. You can check the replay and watch the whole thing if you don't have, like, kitten things to do later. Yeah, so this is gonna be, this will be for sale, guys, if anybody's interested. Definitely be for sale. Man, look at the darks fading off now that I'm drying it. I may have to go in again with some dark, but I really don't want to do that. Maybe I'll just leave it the way it is. Because I got the values, I got the main values I wanted. I just know I have more potential. I could even go darker with watercolor. I knew I was using too much water earlier, that's what I was talking about. But thanks, Art Witchery. Appreciate it. Hope it looks good on the TV. I wish this camera was a little bit better, but it was free, so I can't complain too much. Thanks, Nathan. Nathan says this is your best portrait so far. Thanks, I appreciate it. No worries, Kuwaitosami. It's all good. It's all good, bro. The problem is the shipping where you live, man. It's expensive to ship way over there. It sucks that it has to cost that much, you know? So it's almost dry. I mean, I just really want to get it dry to see what it looks like. That part I put down on the hat last is a little bit darker, and the beard's a little bit darker. But I kind of like it. I do like it. It's a nice graphical statement, I think. Yeah, exactly. Cries in Kuwaiti, exactly. If you don't mind me asking, do you live in the main city there? I forgot the name. Is it Kuwait City? Is that the capital? I can't remember. I was just looking at it about a week ago. Randomly online on YouTube, I was looking at it. It's not a very big place, but I know the city, big city there. Seems cool. But thanks for tuning in. Geronimo, third live in a row. I appreciate it. All right, let's take the tape off. This is the moment of truth, folks, to see if the painting works or not. Yeah, I think I leave the background the way it is. You know, it's kind of light. I could darken it. Part of me wants to darken it. You can roam around all of Kuwait in 3 hours. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Wow, that's like me driving to 3 hours. Where's 3 hours? That's like me going up to Mount Shasta. Like, it takes me from here, it takes me 4 hours just to get to the Oregon border. That's crazy. Okay, Kuwait City's like 25 minutes away. All right, not bad. That's cool. Oh, nice. Got a nice beach. That's cool. Well, I guess I'm not darkening the background, so if I do, I'll just have to be super careful and not go over the lines. But, all right, Nathan says leave it alone, so all right. There's always more fun, man. There's always more fun to be had, you know? You know, if you look at it upside down, that's the moment of truth. It's like, the hat kind of looks weird now. You can't really tell it's a hat when you look at it upside down. Because then you see everything differently when you see it upside down or you see it in a mirror. Yeah. Well, at least glad the tape hole held up nicely. Do you believe that some people thought we still use camels for Kuwait or Sami, that's terrible. Do you believe that some people thought we still use camels for transport? You know what? Unfortunately, I believe that. That's the unfortunate part. You know? It's just ignorant people out there, man. They just don't know about the rest of the world. And especially in America, man. America is so ignorant. They think they just have no idea about the rest of the world and how different countries are. And yeah. I like watching vloggers that travel and go to different countries and go to really crazy countries. You know, so I like learning about other countries and just seeing what's out there and how people live. And you realize that, man, everybody's human, man. Everybody's more similar than we are different, you know. There's so many other beautiful places that America thinks are like terrible and awful and they're evil and all this stuff, but there's beautiful places in that country, man. And there's people that are nice, people that don't, you know. It's just crazy. All right, the only thing that bothers me is this little like neck part right here, shoulder. That's the only thing that bothers me. And the headspace. I wish he was all moved up a little bit, but oh wow, you have more cars than people there? That's interesting. I didn't know that. Is the paper curved? Yeah, it's curved a little bit. So here you can see the actual profile of the paper. So you can see like right here in his face is really bulging out. And the paper's kind of curved. A little wavy. But you can the way to get rid of that, I can spray the back of it with water lightly. And then I can put a book on it or just something heavy until it dries, and then it'll be pretty flat. And then you can frame it or whatever, or mat it, frame it, whatever, and then boom. What do you recommend for complete beginners? Beginners in what? Yeah, that's true, Kuwait Asami. It's always just the news and bad people. The news just focuses on all negativity, man. And I'm not about it, you know. I'm not about the negativity, that's for sure. So, here we go. Let's get one look at it this way. It's always cool to see it from further away, as you would be viewing a painting in real life, you know, if it's on the wall. You're viewing it from far away. Pretty nice lighting, pretty nice. I think it's those 4 values, you know, 4 values. The 4 main values that I focused on. It still looks like he has a ponytail, but hey, doesn't matter. What's wrong with the ponytail? I used to have one. So, what watercolor and brushes do you use? Gosh, I'm running out of oxygen. Okay. I use Princeton Neptune brushes. So, and I also have this Winsor Newton Cotman brush. So I use round brushes. This is a number 16 that I used for this painting, and a number 10 round brush. And then the watercolors that I use, wherever they went, are called M Graham watercolors. That's what I use. And the paper I use, before someone else asks me again, Arches 140 pound cold press watercolor paper. So thanks, Kuwait Asami. He says, I look forward to more portraits. I think I see more life in them than your oil paintings. Thanks. I guess that means I'm getting better, so I appreciate that. Yeah. They're not always this good, that's for sure. I can tell you that. Can you live by art? Because I would love to. Yeah, you can. You can live by anything. It's just how to do it and how much effort you're willing to put into it. So what watercolor paints do you recommend for beginners? Anything that's affordable, you know, whatever you can afford, just buy them. Well, Ireland and England, Ireland's completely open right now, and so is England. So you can go there if you want right now. Go check out the availability. It's completely open. That's one of the places I was looking at going possibly, but I'm not going to go anywhere right now. But yeah, Ireland's completely open if you want to go. Anybody can, it's free to go there. There's a few other countries in Europe, a few countries in South America, stuff like that. But yeah. Yeah, a lot of people today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been cool. But Cotman is a great starter paint. There you go. Nathan's master watercolorist, Nathan Dixon, giving his point of view. He does probably a lot more watercolor than I have. I've only been doing this for like 2 years, you know, not even, 2 years. But they're letting Americans in. Yeah, completely open. As far as I know, completely open. If you go to kayak.com, I think they have like an advisory. They have a whole map of the world and what countries are open with what restrictions, and they're always updating it. So you can get notifications from if certain country opens up or lifts up, you know, changes their restrictions or whatever. But as far as I know, Ireland is completely open. That's what it says. There's a few other countries like Albania, Serbia, Brazil. Like some of those they have, Ecuador. It says no restrictions. Completely no restrictions. So, I mean, they probably have certain laws. When you go there, you got to wear a mask. You know, you got to follow the stuff that they have going on. But, yeah. Anyway. Soon they're actually going to be rolling out soon. I'll be able to pin a comment in the chat. They're going to be rolling that out soon. Unfortunately, I don't have that available on the chat right now. But actually, let me try it. See if they updated it for me yet. But you'll be able to pin a comment to the top of the chat box soon. Or I will be able to. So I can type a comment of all my materials, or have Amanda do that, and then I can pin it. I don't know why it's not letting me click the 3 dots. There we go. Yeah, I still can't pin one. That's a bummer. Come on, YouTube, give me the ability. Anyway, be sure to check out my website, guys. I got some paintings on there for sale, schaeferfineart.com. Got some drawings like the ones you see here, and some paintings like the ones you see here and the ones I did today for sale. I also have a support page where you can donate to me on PayPal, Venmo. Check out some t-shirts I have. You can support me on Patreon. I also have some music that I create on my own time. If you want to go check that out, listen to some music tracks that I create. And you can also purchase them. They're like $1 a track, you know, whatever. Support me that way. It gives me a little bit of change, you know what I mean? Helps me out. So any kind of support you give me is appreciated. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks everybody for but anyway. So take it easy, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'll give you one last look at the painting here, and I'll post it as the thumbnail for the replay of the stream. But anyway, see you guys tomorrow. We'll do a portrait in gouache. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow with all hard edges. We'll see if I can pull that off with gouache, and maybe we'll do a woman tomorrow. So we'll see. Anyway, peace, folks. Thanks.